Krishan. How are you doing? Hoping this helps. Yeah, I'm gonna be actually doing 2 charts because everything's happening pretty quickly, and then next week I'm gonna be doing the Scorpio full moon chart. So there's a lot of stuff coming up back to back, starting today. Pretty much right now, about 20 minutes. This kind of kicks off, so we're probably already feeling it. But basically, we have a buttload of stuff moving in the Taurus. It's gonna be all chilling with Uranus up there. I know you're gonna be feeling it because you got a lot of Taurus taking up your 12th house, so you're gonna feel this for a while. Yeah, we'll have to look at that. I mean, in a way, with everything going Taurus, Taurus is money. Um, so things around that would make sense right now. Like a big emphasis on our comfort levels and all that stuff. Or things just flat out making us uncomfortable. But what's interesting, I actually put the charts because I am Pacific time, but what I found interesting is at Eastern time, this is actually happening at 2:22 p.m., which I found very interesting. So I actually put both the Venus charts and the Sun and Mercury ones at Eastern time. So I'm just kind of going. It's the same thing for everybody. It's just time zones, like, are gonna be different. But I haven't really done any ones going off of Eastern time zone. So this is probably gonna be a little interesting. But I just felt like that. I mean, that's obviously kicking off something over here with a whole bunch of twos. And having 3 twos, the 222, actually makes 6 energy, which is Venus energy, literally. Because Venus is associated with 6. So it's like, I really feel like this, there's definitely something being started with this. And at the time of, today, with Venus going into Taurus and the moon being in Taurus, it's like Uranus is in Taurus. We already have things there, but by the 19th, like literally in like 5 days, the Sun and Mercury are going to scoot up in the Taurus also. So we're going to have all that in Taurus. But and then a Scorpio full moon like a week after that, literally, because the 19th is Monday, and then the following Monday is the full moon, so it's pretty much like a lot of back-to-back, like, big shift energy. This is really making sense with what I said with that new moon energy last week, where it's like you're kind of setting yourself up for things to be cemented, like, very rapidly. Because even though it's earth energy, like, everything's shifting into Earth energy. So this is pretty much like the grounding before things, like, it's kind of like the anchor, so to speak. It's like really creating a foundation in whatever you put into this. And then Gemini is just going to be about things, like, there's going to be so much shit in Gemini. But Gemini, when it has the full on everything moving over there, is pretty much going to be all about this knowledge being that you learned, or learning from the foundations that you set, and like manifesting with it, or what you've manifested coming in, because Gemini is magician energy. But I'm gonna talk about Venus first, because that's literally today's energy that we have going on, that we're dealing with. So as you can see, it's all completely 0, 0, 0, because it's moving into it at exactly this time. But what this is doing, even though we have Pluto and Capricorn because of the degree, Venus is actually squaring off against Pluto. And this kind of, like, what you actually brought up is like these deep-seated fears when it comes to the goals we're setting, the things we've gone after, possibly because with Venus being in here, it's like a challenge for what brings us security and what goals we're supposed to set to get there. Because this is coming from a place where we hold a lot of stuff inside until we actually learn from it, from these secrets, and then it's like that Phoenix rebirth energy. But this is coming in where, what are we choosing to do with our goals? Like, what are our ambitions? What kind of structures are we creating? And with Venus, this is automatically talking about relationships of all kinds, like, you know, marriages, business partnerships, friendships, just all that stuff. But this is also Taurus energy. It's money. It's what makes us comfortable in our environment, what we deem valuable. But this is speaking a lot about self-worth. And having like this 9th house energy sitting with it, it's making us open our minds about it. Like, some of us might have been very impulsive when it came to these type things when it was in Aries, but now it's almost like being smacked with a brake. And like that rush you get immediately when the brake stops on the dime after going very fast, and it's like that jolt. And once like you come back to the seat and you're sitting still, is pretty much this energy as everything's moving into Taurus. But the reason this is hard is we have this inconjunct going between Mars and Pluto at the same time that this is shifting. So this is going to make it to where our drive is getting easily swayed in directions, especially if certain things are boring us. Like, this could literally be a job boring us, because this is like in the 6th house, or just being over it with like coworkers, or if you're in the service industry, like medicine and helping others, counseling, that kind of stuff, or possibly doing that type of stuff on the internet. It could be that this boredom enters, where you're just like, I'm over this. It's like you're getting pushed away from it because of this inconjunct energy, and you're being pulled to something different. You're being pulled to wanting to create, for some people, because of this Capricorn thing, it's creating boundaries, but it's around work. And especially like if you work closely with other people, it could be you just drawing up boundaries and saying like, you know, work is work, and I'm not taking other people's shit home with me because it's affecting my health. This can go for big groups of people as well, because this energy really makes for people being very needy, because it can make people feel lost. Like, they don't know what direction to go in. They're being pulled in multiple directions, And with this energy, like going between 6th and 11th house type energy, it's feeling very ungrounded and trying to find the answers in other groups of people or finding answers in friends. This could also be having to deal with a lot of extended family and just like being completely drained from it. The party's here. But, hi, Bae. Yeah, you show up with some repeating numbers with the 1122 over here. And it's 2:11 my time. Love it, Bae. I like how you come just bringing in a bunch of repeating stuff. With this happening at 2:22. I mean, if you guys want confirmation, like Bae swings in here with some numbers. So back to what I was saying, and there's a lot of flipped 2s and 11s in here too. But this energy is really speaking to people really having to deal with this stuff and being honest with themselves. Like, some people are really challenged with this energy. This could be actually caregiver energy, like if you're in the medical field and being challenged with what it's doing, draining you, and how it's taking away from relationships. Like any kind of care industry, really. Where you're giving yourself or you're helping to heal other people, it's putting a huge strain on your relationships and you're having to be more broad-minded about it. This also, since Uranus is in Taurus, which it's been there for eons, but it's like having Venus start to mix in with this is pretty much like there's going to be a lot of unpredictable energy around relationships, especially work relationships. There's going to be just, or possibly your relationship with work, however you want to look at that. This is also the energy with 9th house energy, the energy of freedom, traveling, like learning more. So it could just be that it's a challenge right now with the current work environment because you feel like it's stifling. It's not something that's adding to you. If anything, it's causing really, how can I put this? It's almost like things keep cropping up that have an effect on your relationships and you're not understanding where, because it's coming from this like place where a lot of stuff is buried. But I feel for some people it's not necessarily your buried stuff. It very easily can be other people's buried things, because having this friendship energy, community energy mixing in with coworkers, there's just like this huge thing where it's almost like you can be too heavy into other people's energy, and that's what's causing all this rift type energy as stuff's starting to move into Taurus. There's also this with career right now, currently with the moon in Taurus, and we're going to be having full moon Scorpio and new moon Taurus, and with Venus moving literally into Taurus right now, we have a Taurus moon. Even though it's not a new or full moon, there's still that Taurus energy, and that's what's happening subconsciously today. Like, we're really like subconscious with career and what we're deciding to do with it. But what's happening is we're having, with the North Node in Gemini, which is 11 degrees, but with the North Node being in Gemini, it's like we're being pulled to the same thing that is distracting us, like that Mars in Gemini energy that we're having trouble with, possibly putting off our own needs and actually just pouring into other people, or just listening to other people's answers without listening to ourselves. It's like subconsciously we know that we are very uncomfortable right now with this energy, and we're trying to seek the comfort without realizing it. It could also be that feminine energy is playing a very big role on career, and feminine energy is all about being receptive, and that is actually Venus energy, where you allow things to come to you. Because when you think of the mythology with Aphrodite and Venus, like whichever one you want to look at, the beauty and the energy is magnetic and things come to her. And that's that very base feminine energy is being receptive. And on a subconscious level, intuitively, we know this. We know that being receptive is the best way to get what we want right now in career. And it's at a 24 degree, which is 6 also with Venus energy. I'm telling you, there's just a lot of Venus energy while Venus is going into Taurus, which is the ruler of Taurus. So there's so much energy here about being receptive to what's happening. Okay, loud noise. But there's so much energy about being receptive to what's happening, being more open when it comes to what the subconscious is literally trying to say. For some of us, it's just sleep is not there. You could be trying to sleep. I know for me the past few days it's been freaking ridiculous. Just my sleep patterns it flew out the window. Try to go to sleep, waking up a lot and having very deep, vivid dreams that I just keep waking up from and going into over and over again. It's like I haven't had this happen in a while. And my natal Venus is Taurus at a pretty early degree. This is probably conjunct already. But my Venus and Mercury are both Taurus energy. So I know I'm going to be feeling this quite a bit. But having planets in Taurus or having houses or subconscious houses, because I know for you, Rajan, having your 12th house, that's the house of subconscious. So you having a bunch of Taurus like running around in your subconscious house is pretty much the same kind of energy as having natal Taurus placements right now. Because if you have natal placements, they're doing the most right now with Neptune. Because over here we have this sextile going between, today especially, between the moon and Neptune. And this is just making a very easy opening for our subconscious to just flow like it's no one's business. Obviously for some of us this could be us grounding dreams and finally like putting down what we need as the foundation to move forward with things and really start finally making money and profiting. Yes, that exactly, Owen, that's exactly what it is. I am so, oh my god, you just described it perfect. That long, unrestful sleep that makes you inch closer and closer into madness. But this energy, there's a lot of things right now, and I'm like gonna just be upfront with this. There's a lot of stuff right now, especially today. Sleep between this morning and tonight. It's like this week's energy with sleeping is gonna be like really freaking trippy. It's not, but it's subconscious speaking to you, and this is happening to more than one person. I've been talking to people who've been having this happening, not just you guys. Because I interpret dreams sometimes for people, and literally what I've been noticing as a pattern is what's happening is the dreams are literally creating very vivid images that stick in your mind that you can't forget, even if you're someone that usually doesn't remember your dreams. What's coming up is so striking that it's causing you to remember the dream, and then what happens is you have to think on it, even if it's disturbing. And what's happening is your subconscious is actually getting your attention, making you remember something, and then once you pick it apart, what you realize is it's giving you a map to either how to heal something, how to help yourself, make you realize patterns that you have. And it looks really freaking weird, but if you start breaking down details and looking at them, not from just a verbatim, like looking on like this is really freaking weird or this is really freaking scary, and like being more objective and thinking more about like how symbolic things can be, it starts bringing in a lot of really rapid information, and that's what's happening right now. And that's why it's so draining. It's why the sleep doesn't feel like good sleep, because we are literally on this path right now where our brains and the unconscious energy are trying to work through things together, and it is just it's a lot at the same time. And Uranus is all about that higher mind energy. It goes with Aquarius, and the thing is that's also collective energy, because it's really making me want to say over and over again hive mind. Just that literal, like, everything's working together, and that's why so many people are experiencing this, but they're not realizing it's a subconscious level, and that's why everyone's just writing it off like I'm having nightmares or I'm having the weirdest dreams I've had in a long time. And like everyone's really wanting to talk about these weird dreams because it makes them very uncomfortable, because having this square between Mars and Gemini and Neptune is almost like this compulsion to need to express this. Some people are just expressing it all over the damn internet, but other people, it's like, I need to talk to my friends about this. I need someone that I can talk to about what I'm experiencing, because it doesn't feel like just dreaming, it feels like you're experiencing things, and it shakes you up a lot. And especially if you're not someone that usually remembers your dreams, and you're getting very tripped out by the fact that you're not only remembering them, but it's like this thing that it's almost like the dream itself is traumatizing. And when it feels that way, it's because it's bringing up ways for you to remember how to work through things that you've buried. And that just goes straight back to Pluto. It's going like well, it literally does make kind of like a triangle shape, but it's literally like a boomerang. That's what it looks like to me, as a boomerang shape, between Neptune, Pluto, and Mars with the inconjunct. It just reminds me, it has square, sextile, and inconjunct in it. So it's like a boomerang thing where it just keeps coming back and hitting. It's not like you can really throw it out somewhere. It's just going to keep coming back. And that's why we keep wanting to talk about it. And the thing is, Mars being in Gemini, even though Venus is moving into Taurus today, or it's already in Taurus, it's not moving into it, it's in Taurus. But it moved into that earlier today. This Mars Gemini energy is making a sextile, even though it's an Earth air energy, because of the degrees. This makes it very easy for us to be more comfortable about talking about otherworldly things, and that's why people are expressing this more. Like, it honestly would not surprise me if you go on social media and there's just people talking about the funky ass dreams they're having, or experiences. It won't be just dreams, it'll be experiences too, because this is that thin veil kind of energy when Neptune, that Pisces Neptune, is like, a part of it. it actually makes it to where people can actually have more paranormal experiences too if they're not used to that. So there's just gonna be like either with personal relationships or on a wider scale, wherever it is, people are just gonna be talking about this. It's gonna be really strange because even people that you think aren't spiritual or possibly don't think in that realm, or they might not necessarily be spiritual, but you didn't realize that they were obsessive about these kind of things and like having to uncover information about it. It's just going to be this thing where people are coming out and talking about it more. It's like they're feeling compelled to talk. And for a lot of people, this is going to be like high profile people, people that got money, that are coming out and saying some things, and it's going to be like, okay, they just brought a whole lot of attention to something that wasn't really talked about, and it makes people want to learn about it. This also is restructuring a lot with Saturn being in Aquarius, because it's a challenging energy between Taurus, but at the same time it's like Chiron's loving it. And that's how you can tell it's going to be kind of like what the hell's going on. Because like the Taurus energy is all over here with Saturn like feeling like very challenged and like it's like struggling against it, because like Aquarius is so community and Taurus is still about being comfortable with yourself and feeling comfortable in your environment. It's your comfortability what makes you feel secure. And Aquarius is like people, people, and it's like sometimes you really want to just hermit and not be around people. So having this energy being thrown in, Chiron's over here like, oh hell yeah, let's talk about this shit. It's like, let's talk about karma, let's talk about all the different things. They're like rigid beliefs in society, different religions. It's like everybody's randomly talking about this shit now. And it's like, it's not just because of Age of Aquarius, it's because it's the progression that's happening. It's like it got kicked off with some planetary placements, but like I said, things going into Taurus is starting to solidify it. It's like all this got kicked off this year, and it's like the first thing, it was kind of in Capricorn, so it got that energy, that got that momentum from being a cardinal energy, because cardinal energies like, you know, Capricorn, Aries, Libra, and Cancer, those are the cardinal signs. The energy gets started in those signs, which we had Capricorn all freaking 2020. So the energy got started. Even though it was really freaking insane, the energy got started, which kind of made it to where now we're moving through it, we're progressing through it. And this is going to be the first earth sign we're hitting since the energy got kicked off. And there's going to be a stellium the entire time of 4+ planets the entirety of Taurus season. Because Venus, the Sun, and Mercury are so back to back with this moving into Taurus. Uranus moves slow as all get out, and then we're going to be having full and new moon energy. So it's like literally the whole time we're going to have 4 to 5 planets just up there in Taurus. And wherever you got this in your chart, this is where you're going to be wanting to look for a lot of unexpected changes, because Uranus is chilling in this energy where it's like it's been doing the most. It's just trying to bring us a bunch of random shit and seeing how we deal with it and balancing out our lives in that way. And it's been a freaking challenge because it's squaring off with Saturn, which is our karma. For those having Saturn returns, you guys have been getting so much unpredictable shit thrown at you since Saturn moved into Aquarius. You're over it already. But now things that have been getting thrown at you, that you've progressed through, once all these things start moving into Taurus, which everything will be there by the 19th on Monday, things are going to start solidifying out of nowhere. And it's going to be like you felt so up in the air before. Like, you know, what am I going to do? All of a sudden, everything's going to click and come together. And then by that full moon in Scorpio that we're going to have the following Monday, it's going to be like there are certain things I'm kicking out of my life because they are not helping me for shit. If anything, they're draining my finances, they're draining my energy, they don't respect my boundaries. There's gonna be like that kind of energy, like no nonsense, like you're not messing with my possessions and my shit. You're not messing with my family. It's like getting very stubborn about what is yours and what you value and what you're protecting. But what's really important is to not forget about yourself in this, because it'd be very easy, because the energy is very expansive when it comes to relationships. It'll be very easy to pour all this energy you're feeling into your relationships, as opposed to the baseline of starting with yourself and then building outward from there, because you need to have this inside first, because having all this energy with Mercury, Sun, Venus, Uranus, and having alternating moon shit flying through Taurus, this is like our heart, subconscious, our mind, like our value, and then our higher mind, not just our learning mind, but like our subconscious higher mind, that universal one coming in, collective mind. Like I said, hive mind. There's gonna be a lot of people that are very stubborn about this shit. But the thing is, if you're coming from a place where it's like true to your heart, it's going to be very beneficial for you, because there's going to be a lot of rewards. Because Taurus energy makes me think of Ten of Pentacles energy, which is like this awesome, stable fulfillment type energy. If you are doing this from like the place that speaks most to you, like you're really listening to that heart space and not your ego, you're gonna be creating some really good shit right now. Especially if you've been struggling, because we went through like all this mental energy over here. If you've been struggling with a lot of mental type energy, like anxiety or depression, or like how we've been dealing with this sleep shit, it's like, or our energy levels, it's like we have been going through the most with all these things and just being run ragged. Taurus is like, it's time to slow the fuck down and self-care, because Taurus is the sign of self-care and security and being comfortable. So whatever is making you uncomfortable is pretty much you're getting the voice to say you need to back the fuck off, because you're stepping on my toes and I don't like it. So this is really going to be kicking up. I also want to make sure, because I have what's going on Monday on here. As you can see, more zeros, because Mercury and the Sun move into Taurus officially. I'm going to look at a little bit of this. Now, and excuse my allergies, please. This energy, Uranus finally moved to 10 degrees on Monday. Like that took it forever. But Chiron and Uranus are both 10 degrees. I don't know, I just found that funny. Neptune is finally moving into 22 degrees. That's, once again, we got more 2 showing up, even though we're out of the 2 thing with Venus. Yeah, we're gonna be feeling, like, obviously, like, I feel like this Aries new moon, the reason it kicked off the way it did is it was going in, like I said, it's gonna happen rapidly. I'm understanding a lot more now about why it's like, even though we're going into an earth sign, it's gonna be so rapid, everything that's flying in. Especially when it's dealing with relationships. For some of us, it's dealing with divorce. For others, it's dealing with like lawsuits, things like that, other people's money, secrets. Definitely, secrets are a big component of a lot of this stuff, but it's things that are very buried, that are coming to light, which some people are going to be very, very uncomfortable with. But this is still keeping the focus on this need for expanding the mind and going some subconsciously towards what you want with career, not like that surface level trying to be like something. Like, what's your real security in? And that's the challenge, is like fighting the urge to go with the group or do your own thing, do what you want to do with like your heart space. Like, that's the real challenge here, and it's going to keep getting more and more prominent the more planets that we're having move into Taurus. Because like I said, Chiron's just loving this attention with Saturn down here, just ripping up and making people have to learn the lessons of their healing of the self over here. And having, it's like that boomerang kind of changes a little bit between the Mars energy up here by Monday, but what it's doing is it's just getting more towards Cancer. It's not necessarily like that boomerang went away between Neptune, Pluto, and that. But we have like another boomerang that's like doing its own thing over here between Jupiter, the moon, and both of the planets moving into Taurus, both Mercury and the Sun. So another boomerang that is like this very expansive energy, that subconscious energy. This is like why I'm saying I really feel like the dreams are just going to get louder, especially when it comes to healing inner child things that we have really buried deep. There's gonna be this like need to get it cleared out. And there's still going to be this need to talk about it and being very stubborn about talking about it. This could be people like having that need to feel like they're being heard in their relationships. Like, if they feel like they're not being heard, they're going to get louder. They're going to be the bull in the china shop if they're not being heard in the relationships they're deeming important. But this is also because this is stuff that needs to be healed, and a lot of people don't want to look at it that way. The reason that you're getting upset that your voice isn't heard is because there is something that you're ignoring and that you're not healing when it comes to your inner child. There's a past trauma, there is something for those that believe in past lives, there is past life stuff deciding it wants to rear its head. And that could be what you're dreaming about too, that makes no freaking sense at all. But it's trying to show you how to heal it, and you need to listen in order to get the benefit. There's also, I feel like there's going to be a lot of high profile figures. Like I said, there's something kicking off with high profile figures and stuff just coming out, especially around money and relationships. It could be marriages, divorces, lawsuits, just things that you, like, no one would have predicted. It would have just been like, okay, that was a nice swing out of nowhere. But it's going to be dealing very heavily with money, or people fighting over other people's money, breaking relationships over money, because something was really kept hidden, especially in bigger businesses. But on a more personal level, this could possibly be like a lot of family secrets coming out, and realizing either someone isn't who they said they were, or realizing someone possibly forged information and didn't tell anybody, and it turns into a lawsuit. Like, family relations get broken up and become very challenging, especially if someone passed on because things happened and it was handled very dirty. That's definitely gonna be coming up a lot. Hi, Hun, how are you doing? You be safe at work, hun. But once again, we're the veil's being lifted around this work energy. It's like we're not going to be able to hide from it anymore. A lot of us are just going to be flat out bored with it. But we're going to be pushed to make a decision that, I mean, if it's collectively, obviously, if people are going through this and it's like a group of people, they're going to have to make a decision that is going to have a direct impact. Like if it's a big company, it's going to impact their workers in a big way. They might keep it a secret as to why they're doing certain things, or they've been keeping it a secret, but it'll come out. Or that could be what's happening with you personally if you're dealing with job stuff. It's just like the secrets get revealed finally, like next week. Like you don't know what the hell's going on right now, and then next week everything is made clear. And then you have to make a decision to do something or not do something. It's like, because that 22 energy is like that intuition energy, but it's also tying back into Uranus energy where the unpredictable happens, and how are you going to react? How are you going to remain honest with yourself while also taking action, possibly against a group, if it is a lawsuit. But this is also that North Node energy, which makes it to where it can become obsessive. And like I said, we gotta have that focus where we're looking out for the self before we start sticking our energy into other people. If you already have your energy in a ton of other people, it'd be a good exercise to see for yourself where you know you're extending yourself in directions that you really don't need to be. And exercising boundaries with the more distant ones, and then once you kind of get the hang of that energy, move in to doing it in more personal relationships, so you kind of have the feeling, because obviously the personal ones are going to be a lot harder to exert boundaries in, not only because you haven't done it, but also because the other people that are used to you not having boundaries aren't going to understand it at first. Or if they're not used to you having a voice and you start saying things you've never said, but it's how you've always felt, some people are going to feel like their boundaries are being stepped on, but it's because you're finally saying something, and it makes them uncomfortable because they never thought of having boundaries with you. Some people really just didn't understand it whatsoever, and it was really affecting your health because you had no boundary of taking care of yourself at all. So and this can also, like I said, if you're in this kind of energy dealing with a larger group or dealing with friends, because I feel like this has to deal with groups of people too, but not necessarily people you know on a very intimate level. The people that are on an intimate level, you guys are dealing with some shit, which is why I'm saying it'd probably be easier to start going through the more distant ones. It'd be easier to detach and actually like learn your voice if you haven't been working on that already. And then because this tension with, how can I put this? This tension with the more intimate relationships is going to last longer. And I know people are like, well, how the hell is that good? But it's going to last longer. So you have more time to adapt and to learn how to work through those things because there's already a solidified relationship there. With the more distant ones, it's like a learning lesson. And some people don't realize that everyone is not supposed to be in your life forever. Some people, you learn the lesson and you leave. Or you learn the lesson, they leave. It's like whichever way that goes. But these are going to be more for relationships. I can't talk. And that thing went off when I was trying to talk. But this is going to be more for relationships that were based off of someone being taken care of or someone being needy, someone having no boundaries, being more distant though. It's more of an associate than a closer relationship thing, or maybe friends of friends. It's not even like having a very deep connection with somebody, but they're there to teach you the lesson of having your voice and talking for yourself. And putting up those boundaries with the more distant energy so you can work towards finally overcoming the challenge of having those kind of conversations with the people that are very close to your heart. Trying to see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. By Monday, the drive is going to shift. Yeah, like I was saying, it's going to shift more away from the friends and more into trying to understand things from other perspectives. Like, it's like understanding that these relationships came in for a purpose. It's like having a different outlook. Some people's beliefs are definitely going to be getting challenged, but you're being pulled to actually do something. A lot of people are going to be talking more about these ideas. Like I said, this is like starting it's starting a bowl with this Taurus energy. Let's go get some ramen. But it's starting a bunch of energy with the ball rolling of people needing to talk about this shit. No matter what it is. Some people are going to be talking about other people's business, and that's where some of these lawsuits are going to come in. Be like, oh, how dare you slander my name, lawsuit. Like, it would not surprise me. But I think that is what I'm seeing for this massive throw of basically planets into Taurus energy starting today and through Monday. And then things sitting in Taurus. And then next week I'm going to be going over the Scorpio full moon chart. So this is what I'm going to do today as for transits, so we're kind of understanding what the hell is happening.